G'day, how you going today? And thanks for clicking on that thumbnail that brought you to this video. In today's video, I'd like to update where I'm at with my dwarf mulberry, which is now called Marvin the Mulberry. For some reason beyond my awareness, I've started naming my plants, and this one's is now called Marvin, named after Marvin the Martian. He's probably my favourite Looney Tunes character. So, Marvin the dwarf mulberry. About a week ago now, I potted Marvin up into this 60 centimetre pot from a 43 centimetre pot. The 43 centimetre pot was getting very root bound, and also Marvin was then, before I chopped him, about 6, 7, 8 foot tall, somewhere in there, and every time we had a wind, the whole thing would blow over. So I've potted him up into a bigger pot, and I've also pruned him. The reason why I pruned him is because mulberries will fruit in spring on new wood grown this season. So I'm at the end of spring. This will grow like mad for the next 4 or 5 months, and then we'll go into winter. It'll lose if not all of its leaves. And then in spring, the whole thing comes alive, flowers, fruit, and we should be in business. I did get some very small little mulberries spring this year, but I think that was mainly because there just wasn't too big a plant and too small a pot, too much root. And I was watering it daily and fertilising, but I just couldn't keep up with it. Also, because I love Marvin in a platonic kind of way, platonic plant kind of way, I wanted to give him the absolutely best I could. And the best I can give him is Searles Platinum Potting Mix. Now, if you've seen my other video, which I'll put a link to up here, about a trial I did on potting mixes, you'll see why I don't mind spending the extra dollars on a premium quality potting mix. It's worth, in the long term, it's worth every penny. So, there's about 2 bags of that in here, and there's already, in a week, there's already new shoots and growth everywhere. So he's fine. Marvin's happy. I'm happy, Marvin's happy. The only other thing I did when I was potting, so I pulled Marvin out of the 43 centimetre pot. I actually did make a video showing all this, but then all the files got corrupted and I couldn't do it. So I'm just talking about what I did. But I pulled Marvin out of the 43 centimetre pot, but before I put it into the 60 centimetre pot, I compacted the bottom, the potting mix that I had to put in the bottom to bring it up to the right height as hard as I could, because I know it doesn't matter how good your potting mix is, the whole thing settles over a period of time. But if you press it down and compact, not super hard, I mean, I don't want you to stand in the pot and jump on it, but just smash it down as hard as you can with your hand, even with your fist. Just punch it down, compact it, won't hurt. The roots on these things just power on. So hopefully that will reduce the amount of sinking I get in the pot. The only other tip or thing I've done is I don't have a saucer at the bottom of the pot because we're just swarmed with mosquitoes here. So if I have a saucer under here, any water that collects in there, the mosquitoes will breed and they'll have an even worse mosquito problem. So the only thing I need to do is that I can't sit this plant in this pot directly on the ground, or the roots will just go straight through the drain hole, straight into the ground, and before you know it, your plant's actually living off the soil underneath the pot and not in the pot, in the potting mix itself. Which might be fine if you've got like a concrete backyard or a timber deck or something like that, just sit it on there, that's fine. But I've got this positioned in the garden area, but I don't want to plant it in the soil. I want to be able to keep it in a pot. So I've just put 4 bricks under it, leveled it up, and it's just sitting there loving life. I think that's all I want to tell you about Marvin. I'll put a link up here again to a playlist of Marvin from when I first got him in a little 140mm pot, and over I think about the last 2 years, I've gradually increased the size of the pot, and I'll have explained it in the other videos why I've done that until I've gotten to this stage here. I think this pot will be big enough. Probably, I don't know, I have to see how I go. 1 or 2 years down the track, I will have to do some root pruning, which is kind of a harsh treatment, but if the time comes, or when the time comes, I'll do a video on that and show you that. So you'll do that in winter at a time when the plant's needs are at its lowest. It won't need a lot of water or fertilizer, it won't be growing, it'll be deciduous, the leaves will drop off. So it's a rather harsh treatment, but the plant, especially mulberries, don't mind at all. If you're still here and still watching this video, then I'd like to let you know that I think you're a bloody champion. And I'd also like it if you would consider liking this video. It means a lot to me and it means a lot to YouTube as well. Also, please subscribe, as it will allow me to make more videos like this one. And with a bit of luck, I will see you in my next video. Cheers.